Hi, in this video we're going to look at how to cut and crop in Affinity Designer for iPad. It is a little different than the desktop and some things you may have to repeat. So let's have a look at it, shall we? So open your image in Affinity Designer. We're going to crop this image with various sizes. So open up in Affinity Designer, and once your image is open, select it. You will see the image selected in the Layers tab, and on the right hand side there you can see it, and it defaults to the lock state. That's so you can't change it accidentally. So we need to make a copy of your image. You can do this by clicking on your image in the Layers tab, the background image, and then tap on the Command Studio and select Duplicate. And you can see it's made a duplicate exactly the same called Background on the right hand side there, but it's not locked. Rename your new layer so you know which one you're editing, and I've called mine Copy Layer. It's just not Background, it's Copy Layer. Select your new layer, that's the copy layer, and select the shape you would like to crop with by selecting it in the Shape tools on the left hand side there. It's showing a square at the moment, but I'll change that. Then, having selected the shape in the left toolbar, you can proceed, and I selected the pentagon. Nothing to do with the US, just a pentagon shape. Draw your shape over your image where you would like to crop. Don't worry too much if it's not exactly where you need it. We can adjust it later. And you can see it's definitely over the top of your original image. You can see your shape in the Layers tab on the right hand side, and it sits on the top, above everything else. Turn off the original image, the background image, by unchecking the little checkbox on the right hand side next to the lock. You'll then be left with the shape you cropped out. Drag the copy layer, and you can't see that here of course, so watch carefully. Drag the copy layer up over the shape layer. So you added the shape which sits on the top. So highlight your copy layer and drag it up so it's positioned over the shape layer, and you'll see the copy layer show a blue line as you do this. When they're together and the blue line is halfway, you can then drop the image and they drop together. The shape layer will now be above the background copy layer as a group. And you can see that there, the copy layer and the shape layer. So you can see the shape of it just above in the little image there. And there you can see on the main screen, with both the copied image, that's the background copy, and the shape layer checked, that's the boxes ticked, you can now move the cropped area around. And I have done a little bit there to centre it. But you must tap the icon, not just the layer. If you just tap on the layer to select it, it won't select it, and you'll think, what is going on here? If you just tap the layer, you can't move the image below the shape. So what I'm saying there, if you tap the little tiny image there, the little icon, you can then move the image around underneath that shape. If you don't tap the image, if you just tap the layer, you can't move anything, or indeed the whole lot might move on you. In which case, use the little undo button down the right hand side there. When you select the original image, you will have both the original image and the cropped image at the same time. And you can see there that I've turned the check mark on the locked image, and it shows up behind your shape image. Of course, that's entirely useless to you. You don't want that, so you turn it off again. I've just done that to show you. If you uncheck the original image again and then only select the copy layer, you can now adjust the size of your crop and where it's located over the original shape. Don't forget, you've got to tap the little icon, not just the layer. Now for the second type of crop that we're going to do, this is not using a shape tool, use the crop tool. And you've probably done this before. Select the crop tool on the left toolbar and you'll see it highlights the entire background. I've got rid of that shape. You can see in the layers I've now just got a background copy there. Drag the rectangle, that's the crop shape, where you would like it to go. You will see it appear in the Layers tab, and you can see on the right hand side of that image it's now got a cropping layer added to it. Select your crop layer in the Layers tab, then you can resize your crop using the little square points on the corner of the cropped image. You can also use the Move tool to adjust your image location. You should be familiar with that. Finally, the other option to crop is to go to Document Setup on the top toolbar, and when the Context toolbar appears, adjust the dimensions. Now that's adjusting the dimensions of the entire thing, and it's not really cropping, but it's one way of adjusting the size of the thing, and you might find it useful. I urge you to experiment with all of these things, because the more you experiment, the more you learn. Thank you for watching, and if you want to keep your work where you are, don't forget to save it as you go. Thank you for watching, and please subscribe and like. And you can subscribe to my YouTube channel at that address, or just click on subscribe and like right here on the channel.